is no tax on tips for? So I goofed the grammar on that, so that could be a good thing there. But there have been a lot of like, we all know that there's this thing going around that there's going to be no tax on tips, and of course the customers that are entitled have made commentary, and surprisingly this time not on a DoorDash page.
I just saw a video on here that says now that there's no tax on tips, I'm going to tip less. Do you understand that's not what that's for? Like, the whole point is to keep more money in the employee's pocket, not to save you money going out to eat. And this isn't a new mindset. This is a very real mindset a lot of people have on this app. It's the way that they think. If somebody else is getting the benefit of something, I need to take it. The same thing just happened in real estate with all the changes and the lawsuits, and now that the seller doesn't have to offer a buyer's agent commission to put their home on the MLS, buyers think that that should be their savings. When home sellers are like, no, if we're going to save money, it's going to save us money. We're not going to give you the house for cheaper just because we're saving money, because then we're not saving any money. That's not how this stuff works. And people think that every little benefit somebody else may get to make their life better, they're entitled to. Newsflash, Earth the human, the world doesn't revolve around you. If you've been busting your ass in the service industry making tips, this is to benefit you, and will more than likely lead to a better quality of life, people showing up and getting better service overall. Maybe these people can even afford to move closer to where they work so they're not driving an hour and a half every day. And look, I understand it's probably not going to make that much difference, but you understand what I'm getting at here. People truly need to change this mindset that everything should benefit them. What does it do for me? And start thinking beyond themselves, because we're a social society. We're not an independent creature. Literally one of the worst tortures or punishment for people going back to the dark ages of time is isolation. And some of you are out here burning so many bridges with this attitude, you're going to create it for yourself.
So I have a lot wrong with how he talks. We are independent-minded creatures, or independent individuals. Like, I honestly don't like the word citizen because it sounds like you're subservient. And then he does the employee thing, like he's only thinking of the waitresses and stuff, and that's what the legislation originally was. There is some that got put in for 1099 workers, but I think it's only you did a great video on it. I believe it's 25K, you said. Up to 25K in tips. I imagine some concessions are made because I remember they wanted it up to 100,000. And obviously, you got to make compromises when it comes to Congress.
Yeah, unfortunately, but
Yeah.
policies aren't built on like what the country needs. They're built on whoever you can please in the moment.
Yeah, it's a direct, like they're trying to throw a bone to the supposed working class. Which, if you're making 25K a year, what are you doing with your life? You're part time. And that's just side income for your family, or you need to get your life together, bud. Like, my life's a wreck.
Yeah.
Speaking of shameless plug, $Budsoda02 for Cashapp, and my YouTube's Budsoda, and go watch my videos to help me get my watch hours up and subscribe. But there we go.
Yeah. There you go.
Anyways. So I have a lot wrong with the way he languages it, but like, he is right that a lot of people only think about themselves, where like, oh, now that you're saving this money, why aren't the benefits directly onto me 100%? But that's not how real life works, but it's so people that work for it can keep more of their own money. Not, oh, I get to tip 20% less than I normally would. Instead of 20, I'm giving 15 because of that. No, that's not right at all. Like, no, that's not how it works. You gotta think of it as a worldly thing to help individuals build their families or build for themselves. And that's just the way I look at it. And like, 25K is not the greatest, but it's a start. At least it's something. It's $25,000 of income we're not getting taxed on.
Yeah. Well, first off, he is right in that regard. Um, let's also acknowledge for a second before I even go, whatchamacallit, before I even go into the concept of what no tax on tips is about for us and stuff to that effect, let's acknowledge for a second he ran off. Let's acknowledge for a second that this guy is a real estate agent, and the way, like, he may have worked in the service industry. I couldn't say if he did DoorDash, Uber Eats, or Grubhub. He's not thinking about that. So that's clear from his
Yeah, I'm thinking.
profession. That's not even.
Yeah, it sounds like he might have done retail or service in the past.
Yeah, he probably did. That's probably how he got into real estate, but nevertheless. Where is your, yeah, there we go. Who is no tax on tips for? The entitled customers are not, it's not really for them. It's like they're gonna act like crap in a bucket. As soon as you get something good, um, they're gonna try to rip you apart for having something good. They're gonna want their piece of things. And of course, they're not going to be happy for other people having something nice. And like
Yeah,
25K off when we're clearly making more than 25K is
yeah.
not,
Some people,
is
a lot of
like,
people do that in a quarter. So
yeah, right. Miserable people with that no one likes. That's just who those customers are.
yeah,
Don't lower your standards. Like, if the customers are going to be like, "Oh, I'm going to tip less," that just means you're not taking those customers. That means you're just
yep.
not working with those kinds of people. And that doesn't mean you do shady things with your taxes either. Make sure that regardless of what other customers are doing, and we all know other customers are doing shady shit. Let's be real for a few minutes here. Um that that doesn't mean you start doing something shady with your taxes. Make sure you keep everything on the up and up, and make sure that you're staying like IRS compliant, especially now that it's clear that it's not no tax on tips entirely. It's no, like a 25%, like a 25K deduction, really, for us, because we're probably going to be blowing 25K away regardless.
It's like a free quarter basically
Yeah.
for most of us.
And again, that's going to be, I'll touch on that in a minute, GigWise. And that's going to be something that you need to consult a qualified tax professional on to make sure that you're maximizing your tax benefits to the best of your ability. And one of the best people you can consult with that at an affordable price is GigTax. GigTax offers like full service tax prep when going through Driven Wyld, starting at just $99. Was the first time that like notified me of anything all day. That's
So go to gigtaxservice.com/drivenwild. Use use code WILD, all lowercase with the Y, to access the special tier of the pricing. And he can help with quarterly taxes too. And being a guy who does gig work, he understands what we go through.
Yeah, whether you're a rideshare driver, delivery pro, or an online seller, otherwise, we need to stop letting taxes eat into our earnings. And GigTax was founded by Joseph Mayo. He's been in the trenches as a seasoned gig worker. He's got 7,000 deliveries across seven different platforms, and he understands the challenges and the tax benefits that gig workers can truly capitalize on. So enjoy and he has a lot of benefits that are free with onboarding, such as electronic estate filing, secure portal access, year-round support, audit protection, etc. So if you're ready to save more on what you've earned, make sure to go to gigtax.com/drivenwild. Access the website with the code WILD in all lowercase letters. And we are excited and looking forward to helping you save as much money as possible.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's a good, no, it's not.
Yeah, so if anyone's ever had a dispatcher on any of these platforms that has done gig work themselves in the past, you know what a godsend it is when you have someone who understands what you do. So I've talked to Joe myself in the past. He's a really great guy. So definitely check it out if you guys haven't. And you guys are needing the service. I know a lot of you have your own specific people. I'm not trying to dissuade you from that, but like for anyone who doesn't have a regular actual CPA tax professional in their corner, that's not, from one of the big chains, go for it. I know some people like them. They have their person, but like, because they've been doing it for 30 years. But like, I've had very bad experiences with the big chains. So I do recommend having like a CPA that's in your corner.
The Hawaiian shirt dasher here. That's hilarious. What in the bad haircut is Michael Chandler? Look, okay, I'm not gonna touch that. I hope they make no tax on tips effective this year. A lot of people are confused on where it says it. I don't want to go too deep into that, especially since that's not really a topic of this video. You can check out my video on it. I've
Please do.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
They did, Tony Shu and like Udara were like clicking their heels at the idea that they got this through. So like there's something like they made sure it was there and they were featured on the White House website.
I think they did it more for PR, especially Tony Zhu.
They did it more for PR. They did it more for themselves, but that's really they want to capitalize on what Elon's going, right? Like Elon's like in the pocket of Donald Trump, and they want to get in on that, in my opinion. Especially since we all know they are a little questionable themselves. But don't live outside your means. You could do fine on just 25K take home a year. I mean, you could do. I'm not saying you can't do just as well. I believe that you should make as much as possible, but I'm not gonna go too deep into that.
You have to live in a very cheap city. St. Louis is one of the cheapest cities to live in. You don't live in the city, but like in the area. St. Louis County is a lot cheaper than most places are. And loophole LLC, S Corp, yeah, I was gonna say something with that. Again, contact actual qualified tax professionals, please. Gigwise, you said you have someone who's been doing it for like 25, 30 years, so.
No tax on tips will start on your income beginning January 2025.
Yeah, I imagine it wouldn't be till the start of the next fiscal year.
That would be this fiscal year if it's actually if he's saying
2026.
2026.
I think I'd sure you meant. Well, yeah.
I'm sure they'll backdate it if it's like actually viable for this year, but I don't think so. Yeah, okay, so it is for this year. So basically, it would like if they initiate it this year, it'll account for the whole year.
So they're trying to retro date it to when he took office, basically.
Pretty much.
That'd be interesting because that's like really unheard of as far as like legislation goes. Like they'll backdate it certain amounts sometimes, but very rarely.